bursitis.
All day fam, what's good? Back again for another day. All right, so let's get straight to it. NFL list number 80 through 71. 80 through 71. I want to go through this real fast. Don't want to waste too much of your time. But let's see, we got the top 100 players of 2026, numbers 80 through 71. Jordan Love makes third straight ranking. And this is Zay Flowers' first debuting on the top 100. Keep in mind, again, this list voted on by the players themselves. And two players will be revealed at 10 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. on daily, Monday through Friday, from June 22nd through August 21st. So the top 10 is quickly coming up. Before one top 10 players unveiled each weekday, beginning at 10 a.m. Eastern on Monday, August 24th through Friday, September the 24th. Okay, so yeah, they're going to extend a little bit with the top 10 players because that's when really everybody wants to really find out who's the top 10 players amongst all the other players in the NFL and what did these players who's playing, who do they all think is the top 10? Right now, we got number 80, AJ Brown. This is a huge drop for AJ Brown. I'm blaming all that on Jalen Hurts because it's not AJ Brown's fault that he is not being as productive to his standards. I will still say that AJ Brown is still productive because given the fact that he draws a lot of attention, he still scares defenses, he still scares cornerbacks. Defensive coaches still lose sleep on game planning for him. He is still a disruptor. It is not his fault. The receiver position, football is a dependable sport, and definitely the wide receiver position is definitely a dependable position. So AJ Brown, he hit 80 on this list, on this year's list. I'm pretty sure it will be higher, even though I'm not that big on Drake May. It will be higher next year. But AJ Brown, 15 games, 78 catches, still had 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. So still pretty productive in my eyes. I mean, so let's see. Brown's final season in Philadelphia featured more noise off the field than on it, but that doesn't mean he wasn't still terrific between the lines. Exactly. He is New England's new Patriot number one wide receiver. And he was, again, he was the Eagles' top receiver in 2025, leading Philly in targets at 121 catches while recording his third straight year with 7 touchdowns catches and his fourth in a row with more than 1,000 yards. So it was definitely obviously not his best campaign, like we said, but he still was very productive. Just because he dropped in the top 100, and even though he had struggles in 2025, not personal struggles, he wasn't really one struggling, but he was dealing with a quarterback that couldn't get him the ball to be exactly precise. He's still proven in my eyes that he is the best. He is one of the best wide receivers in the game. Brown gained 263 receiving yards and a touchdown on hitch routes this season, and he was second in the NFL, trailing only George Pickens. So that tells you how dangerous he still is, and that's on hitch routes. So then number 79, Travis Kelce, he dropped from 42 to 79. I think this is a very reasonable drop. I think this is a very solid spot for Travis Kelce, even though he is way past his prime. Travis Kelce still was sort of productive. He had 17 games. He played 17 games. He didn't get hurt. 76 catches, 851 receiving yards, 5 receiving touchdowns. So shout out to Travis Kelce. He is 36 years old. He still has some spring in his step. Let's say he had 463 yards after the catch in 2025, which was third among tight ends. He ranked 37th in last year's top 100, eclipsed 13,000 career yards receiving, and becoming just the third tight end to do so. He also finished his 13th season with 1,080 receptions, and it's good for 8th all time, regardless of the position. That was just solid. He's been voted to 11 Pro Bowls, and his best seasons might be in the rear view, but like I said, he's way past his prime. But his peak form is still better than most. Yeah, he's still better than most tight ends in the league. The only tight ends I could think of that's better than him is Brock Bowers, soon to be Rondé Gatson. I think the Joker is going to be better than him. But right now, I will say right now, obvious, we'll say Brock Bowers, McBride, and the tight end from the Bears. Those are the ones I can think of. Really, those are the ones I can think of. Ones I think that's going to be better, like I said, I think McBride. I already said McBride. I believe Rondé Gatson will be better, end up being better. I think Njoku is going to get back into his form. I think I can't remember the Browns wide receivers, but they're pretty tight ends, but they're pretty solid too. But Kelce, he had more yards after the catch than expected, only 44.6% of his catches in 2025. The fifth highest rate among tight ends with at least 40 receptions. Still productive. You got number at 78 at Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat jumped 17 spots from last year. He had 30 tackles, played 17 games, 13 tackles for loss, 12 sacks, 17 quarterback hits. His stock continues to rise amongst his NFL brethren, and he's now made the top 100 for 2 straight years. He's getting better, every year, and he shows he's becoming more and more respected every single year. He rose 17 spots. Arizona struggled to a 3-win season. Sweat largely flourished in his first campaign with the Cardinals. His sacks were career best in his 8th season, and so to where his force. And he had 4 forced fumbles, a one-time Pro Bowler and Super Bowl champion with the Eagles. Sweat, and he had a very big deal with that great Eagles defense. He signed a lucrative free agent deal ahead of the 2025 season and backed up the money with a stellar season. He led the Cardinals with 42 quarterback pressures, registered 3 turnovers caused by pressure. The rest of the Cardinals defense combined for 4. And then we got Baker Mayfield. He dropped 27 spots. He's at 77. I think this is a solid spot for Baker Mayfield. Yeah, I think this is solid. I was thinking should Bryce Young be over him, but I think he was better than Bryce Young last year. He played 17 games. He threw for under 4,000 yards, 26 passing touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 382 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, and 11 fumbles. So Baker Mayfield, he's still okay. I would say I never thought Baker Mayfield was good. I just always thought he was average. I just thought he was really, really good average quarterback, and we leave it at that. I think he gets way too much credit just because he won a playoff game with the Browns. Like, what has he done since? So he started his third season with the Buccaneers, throwing 16 of 26 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions in the first 9 games. Injuries did take a toll on Tampa and large. They also did for Mayfield. He never missed a game, but he was regular. But he was a regular on the injury report. He produced a career high of 382 rushing yards and 27 first downs on the ground. He did run a lot more this year, and I think he had to, as he was a gamer who did everything he could with his arm, his legs, and his moxie to lead the Bucs. His play and tenacity clearly continued to make an impression on his league compared around the league. But I will say this that I think I love how tough Baker Mayfield is. For him to be a quarterback and play like that, the way he plays, I love it. I do love the passion that he plays. I do admire that. But I just don't see him as this type of quarterback that a lot of people and his fans sees him as, like Johnny Football. A lot of people, it's something about, I don't know, I think you guys are a little bit overrating these guys because I don't know. But yeah, Mayfield has never missed a start in 3 seasons with the Bucs, but he dealt with a rash of injuries last year. Most notably, he injured his non-throwing shoulder in Week 12 versus the Rams. He ended the year with a 90.6 rating, his lowest as a Buccaneer. He had a 99.2 passer rating from weeks 1 through 11 prior to injuring his shoulder. And then we got 76 at Jaycee Horn. I think Jaycee Horn made a debut. 16 games, 37 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 8 pass deflections, 5 interceptions. Jaycee Horn is definitely one of the best defenders in the game. So I love that Jaycee Horn has made this list. He is a really great corner. And so he's already top 5 corner in the NFL. He was a number 8 pick of the 2021 NFL draft. And yeah, I think he's just going to keep getting better. He played a career high 16 games in 2025 and recorded a career high in picks. He ascends, the Panthers are following, right behind him ascending. He totaled 5 interceptions when aligned to the boundary this season after coming away with just 2 such interceptions over the first 4 seasons of his career combined. And then you got number 75 at Budda Baker. He dropped. And then let's say Budda Baker. I still like Budda Baker. I think he's still a very great safety. He had 120 tackles in 16 games. So still very solid. I would love to Budda Baker be on my team. So even though my team is already stacked with great safeties. And speaking of great safeties, I did meet Darren James at LAX. That was really dope. I never get starstruck. I never really get all that excited when I see somebody who's a celebrity or a star or a professional athlete. But when I saw Darren James, I just admired his energy. I've always admired his energy. I've always admired his mentality, his aura. I hear everybody talk about his how his energy is and how effective his energy is. I hear how his coaches talk about him. I hear how Jim Harbaugh talks about him, how his teammates talk about him. And Darren James was just somebody that I thought I would never meet. And then I meet him. And it was so sudden. It was so surreal. Right now, I still like not believing that I ran into him. Because it wasn't like somewhere where I was supposed to have met him. You know, a lot of people will tell me stories where they met somebody, when they met a celebrity, or they'd be like, oh, I met Kobe Bryant or LeBron James, who I probably wouldn't care about meeting. I don't really care about LeBron like that. I'm not a LeBron guy. But hey, LeBron can be somebody savior or whatever, like when if they meet him, you know. So a lot of people are crazy about LeBron. I just, but it can be like, you meet Michael Jordan, but it's not the same if you meet these people, and it's probably you could meet them. Like maybe you're at an event or you're somewhere where you think a celebrity may be. You know, I met this dude. I met him at LAX, and I was just walking back to my car. I was dropping somebody off, and I was just walking back to my car, and me and him was just crying, and he was rolling his suitcase, and I was just like, yo, I was like, bro, I was saying that I wasn't really trying to get his attention. I was speaking out loud, and he looked at me, and I was just like, yo, I'm not even gonna say your name. And I was like, I love you, dog. And then he said, I love you too, man. And then he dapped me up, gave me a hug, which I was surprised he even did that. And then I said, dog, I thank you. I thank you so much. And then he just was like, he was smiling, he was looking at me. And then I said, bro, get a ring, bro. I said, bro, get a ring. And he was like, I can't remember what he said. I think he was like, yes, sir. He was like, most definitely, something like that. And then then he kept walking. And then I said, yo, and tell my boy Tony Jefferson, I said, what's up? And he was just like, he was like, bet. And then that was it. And I just felt like I should have said more. I felt like it was an opportunity that I could have said to him or whatever, get him on this platform or something like that, But one thing I was trying to avoid to be too pushy. And I was also trying to avoid of being just that guy or that regular fan. Because I am a fan of the Chargers, obviously, and I am a fan of Darren James, obviously. But I'm not your regular fan. I don't view the game as a fan. I view the game as somebody who once played. So everything when I talk about, I'm coming from a player's perspective and how I once played. And I rate players differently. So that's what will make this channel so valuable, because I have very, very different perspectives and views than most people on the media. And even some players, are I'm gonna be honest, I think they're lousy analysts. And I don't think that they really dig really that deep into the game. And when I mean some player, I mean former players, like some former players who are now analysts. I think they probably watch film and everything, but I think they can be very, very biased about what the media and what their peers say, who, about what they say and other opinions about other players. I think that sometimes some of the players can be too strong hard on rings and stuff like that and wins when they're rating a player or specifically a quarterback. And they know that this is a team sport, this is a team game, and not all of that should just go on a quarterback. And neither should the losses. Granted, the quarterback has more to do with the wins and losses, so maybe that's why. But still, when you watch the game and you see how great this quarterback is playing, you know that this quarterback is a better quarterback. He's a better passer. Like, let's think, like, take for instance, Nick Wright. He has some of the dumbest takes I've ever heard when it comes to quarterbacks, especially when it comes to Justin Herbert. And I'm gonna finish this list, and I'm just gonna say this real quick. But some of the dumbest takes. I really stopped watching First Things First because it seems like every single chance he gets, he wants to knock Justin Herbert. Same for Emmanuel Acho. But Emmanuel Acho is lucky that his platform is way more entertaining than First Things First. First Things First gets I get bored when I watch that, so I just turn it off. Like I watched it for the first time 2 days ago in like over 8 months. First Things First. So just letting you know about that, Nick Wright. So you need to step your analyst game up because I think you're a terrible analyst, especially when you come to grading quarterbacks and talking about Justin Herbert. And this is the thing. And I'm stating my point. Nick Wright said something that was so dumb. He said, because he was mad about, he's talking about the next quarterback that might be called after this for this list. And he said, I think it was top 50 or whatever, because I'm not even there. I'm way behind. I think like they're already in top 50 already. And he said the next quarterback that should be called, which he don't think it should be called, because I think it was trying to debate should it be Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, or Trevor Lawrence, or something like that. Or no, it was Caleb Williams or Justin Herbert. And it was like, who do you think will be called first? And then he was like, well, the quarterback I think should be called first is not going to be called first. There's no chance in hell they're going to be called first. And then one of his, I don't know, the guy, I forget the guy's name, but it was just like, he said, well, why do you say that? You don't think Justin Herbert you think it's impossible that he'd be ranked first? And then Quentin Ryan was like, no, people love Justin Herbert. Let's stop right there. The people who love Justin Herbert is the internal of the league. Internal, not external. Internal. Nick Wright is not in the NFL. He is amongst the external. The same people, the people that hate Herbert are the people who are around Nick Wright. If you look at comments on social media, on YouTube, on other platforms, if you watch ESPN or whatever, people have the same opinion about him. Those people outside of the NFL, they have the same opinion about him. They hate Justin Herbert. They discredit Justin Herbert. So for him to say people love Justin Herbert, that was already what's the word I'm looking for? That was very misleading. Let's talk nuance. And that's something that Nick Wright doesn't know how to do. He doesn't talk nuance at all. And this is what I'm saying. People like Nick Wright, he's never played the game and down a day in his life. He just has these strong opinions about the game that he knows. And then I think he even said one time that he's never lost a debate. He's never been wrong about football. You're stupid. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Like I don't like Nick Wright. I don't like him at all. And I don't like him because I don't like how he trashes my quarterback, Justin Herbert. So the more he trashes my quarterback, the more I'm going to trash people, lousy analysts like him. I don't care. I will talk crap about any of y'all. You're going to discredit my boy, Justin Herbert, because I don't care about any of y'all. And if I run into any of y'all, I will tell you straight up. You're a fool. You're stupid for disrespecting my boy, Justin Herbert. I can handle myself, so I don't care. And I'm building my own platform, so I really don't care. I don't need to work with you or for you, what at all. And I definitely won't have you on my platform, trying to have you on my. I'm not going to have anybody on my platform who disrespects Justin Herbert. Maybe I would if you want to come on when this channel grows, because I would not mind at all thrashing you in a debate. So I kind of, to a certain extent, want to keep it respectful, because I don't think these people are knocking Justin Herbert. They're really attacking him as a person. But it almost gets to that point. It almost just gets to that point where it's just so disrespectful because of what we see on the field of what Justin Herbert does. There is never anybody who's playing Justin Herbert who thinks the same. The entire team will die for him. That tells you something. That tells you something. You can go with Darren James when he was talking to Micah Parsons and when he talked about Justin Herbert. Micah Parsons even said how much of a dog Justin Herbert is. So now we're talking about internal. Now we're talking about internal. The one's internal, like Nick Wright said, he said people love Justin Herbert. Nuance. the internal football ecosystem loves Justin Herbert, and nobody knows football more than the internal football ecosystem. Who's the football internal eco? Who is the internal football ecosystem? All the people who are within the NFL. We got owners, GMs, scouts, coaches, assistants, players. Those opinions matter more than anything. So nuance matters. Matchups matters. Situations matters. That's what really matters when we're evaluating these players. And that's what I really go based on when I'm evaluating these players, especially quarterbacks. Let's move on. I can talk about Justin Herbert all day long, and I have more opportunities to do that. I got to keep going though. All right, so Budda Baker, awesome safety, great safety. And then Josh Jacobs was at 74. Josh Jacobs, I think, yeah, Josh Jacobs is definitely. I mean, he had a solid season grounded out. He had a solid season. He found the end zone 28 times on the ground in his 2 years with the Packers. Could be 71 yards shy of his fifth career 1,000-yard rushing campaign. Nose for the end zone. His nose for the end zone has led him to his fifth appearance on the top 100 and his second in a row and with Green Bay after earning 3 nods during his time with the Raiders. Jacobs had 30 scrimmage touchdowns through his first 30 games with the Packers. Then he joined in 2024. That's the fifth highest by a veteran through the first 30 games with the new team since 1970. And then we got Zach Allen, defensive end from the Broncos. He jumped up 17 spots. So he's a player that's quickly arising. 38 tackles in 17 games, 4 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, 47 QB hits. Respect to continue to be earned for Allen, who was an All-Pro and a Pro Bowl selection for the first time in 2025 and is now a 2-time top 100 member. So he's getting better. He is a great player. So he's becoming a great player. He combined for 15.5 sacks, his 8.5 in his 8.5 and 7 sacks in 2024 and 2025, respectively, far exceeding his previous career best. As the Broncos have risen to AFC heavyweight status, Allen has been a crucial reason as to why. He led the NFL with 47 QB hits in 2025 after also leading the NFL with 40 QB hits in 2024. And then Jordan Love, he dropped four positions. He had 4 spots, I meant to say, from last year. He threw for under 4,000 yards, 15 games, 33 passing touchdowns, 16 interceptions. When Love is at his best, his game parallels just about any gunslinger in the game. He is definitely a gunslinger. Let's see what they say. Take, for instance, his week 13 and 14 run in which the Packers eked out 1-score victories over the rival Lions and Bears, thanks in large part to Love's historics. In those 2 outings, the Packers' final 2 wins of the season, Love racked up 7 touchdowns to just 1 interception. Although his passing yards to touchdowns tosses dropped from his previous 2 seasons, his 6 picks were a season low since he became the quarterback Packers QB1, while his completion percentage, success percentage, 50.2 passer rating, 101.2, and QBR 72.7 were all his best showing since taking the Green Bay reins ahead of the 2023 season. All right, okay. Then you got Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is the last one on this list right now. 71. Zay Flowers at 71. I think that's a solid spot for Zay Flowers. And before I talk about Zay Flowers, I just got something to say about Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is amongst one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the entire NFL. Now, I think this is a solid spot for him, 72. But if you would have asked probably an analyst or somebody who's outside of the internal ecosystem of the NFL, they would not have had Jordan Love at 72. For some reason, people just wants to put Jordan Love in the top 10 quarterbacks, and Jordan Love isn't a top 10 quarterback to me. He really isn't. I think I can name 10 quarterbacks better than Jordan Love. I think I can. I will say, if I can, I'll put him in my top 10. I'm not sure if Jared Goff is better than him. I think I would. You know what? I think I would put Jared Goff over Jordan Love because I think Jordan Love is just way too inconsistent for me. And I think he's had way too many chances. And I think he's been in the league way too long for him to be playing the way he's playing. I really don't like the way he's playing the game. I think he's had some clutch moments like what we just read, what we just talked about. But I'm not all that impressed with Jordan Love. I thought he was really good at one point. I thought he was good. I was like, oh yeah, Jordan Love is the truth. And then I started watching him. Like he's not falling into my list of standards of great quarterbacks. So he's or at least really, really, I think he's good. I don't think he's really, really good. I'm saying he doesn't fall into my list of standards of top 10 quarterbacks. He just doesn't. He doesn't do enough for me. When he does do something, when he does do enough, he doesn't do enough consistently. And that's my problem with Jordan Love. He will snap off one game, then he'll come back and play like trash the next 2 games. Then he'll snap off, and he'll come back and play like trash. And then I think people keep talking about him because they have these high expectations of him. They already have in their mind of what he can be, his potential. Like his potential is there. His ceiling is high, but how he's playing is like, are you going to ever get there? And I don't think he ever will. I think time is running out for somebody like Jordan Love. So I don't think he's all that. I will find out this year again, and it's going to come into fruition. Like all the players that I'm talking about, all the quarterbacks that I talk about, like when I come to Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Now people are trying to catch on with Joe Burrow. People are starting to say Joe Burrow is overrated. I've been saying Joe Burrow is overrated for 3 years, the past 3 years now. I was looking like a fool. And I'm going to chop up them videos from when I said it, and I'm going to repost them, remarket them, because so you can know that the stuff I'm saying is facts. It's just counter the herd of the media. And so Jordan Love is definitely amongst one of those quarterbacks I think that are extremely overrated, and Josh Allen too, and Joe Burrow too, and I honestly think Matthew Stafford is a tad bit overrated. I mean, you talk about Matthew Stafford, he had Calvin Johnson when he was in Detroit and racked up stats. Didn't win anything in Detroit. He goes to the Rams, gets put in another great situation, actually a better situation, obviously. Better coaching, better players, better receivers. He wins the Super Bowl. Now, with that being said, just because I'm saying Matthew Stafford is overrated doesn't mean I don't think Matthew Stafford's a great quarterback. I'm saying I think he's overrated because now people are thinking about putting him in the top 5 of all time. That's overrated. Just like with Josh Allen. I say Josh Allen's overrated all the time. It's because I think he's overrated. I don't think he's not a great quarterback. I think Josh Allen walks to the Hall of Fame. When I say guys are like Jordan Love is overrated, I don't mind being specific on what I'm saying. My overrating marks is not created equal. It's because I say one player is overrated and another player is overrated. Don't mean I think they're both trash. Don't mean I think they're both bad. And it definitely means I think one is great, the other is not. It's just that we're just overrating this player's greatness. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and people like that. And so I forget where I was getting at, but that's that. And and then Zay Flowers, you got Zay Flowers. So yeah, I need to see more from Jordan Love. I do. Oh yeah, top 10 quarterbacks I'll see over him. Right before I do Jake Flowers, the top 10 quarterbacks I'll put over Jordan Love. I will put Justin Herbert, obviously, Caleb Williams. I will put Jared Goff. I said I'll put Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. That's 6 right there. I will put Trevor Lawrence over Jordan Love. I didn't really like Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence played pretty well last year. So that's 7 right there. Let's see. Who else would I put over Jordan Love? I would put Drake May over Jordan Love. And I wasn't all that impressed with Drake May last year, but I was more impressed with Drake May than I was with Jordan Love. At least Drake May is consistent. That's 8 right there. I honestly, when healthy, I will put Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts over Jordan Love. I literally would. I don't even know if I can win anything with Jordan Love. So I don't think I'll put CJ Stroud over Jordan Love. No. I didn't even name Matthew Stafford. So I will put Matthew Stafford over Jordan Love. That's 11 quarterbacks. So did I name Joe Burrow? I don't know if I did. Let's just say I did already. So that's 11. And I know I'm missing some quarterbacks. I'm missing my boy. I'm missing another USC great. I will put Sam Darnold over Jordan Love. That's 12. I think Sam Darnold is a way better quarterback than Jordan Love. Jordan Love's getting all this praise, and he has done absolutely nothing. And people still want to put him in the top 10, top 5. Well, I don't think people are in the top 5, but some people still want to put him in the top 10. And he's done absolutely nothing. But Sam Darnold won a Super Bowl, and I don't think Sam Darnold gets as much respect as Jordan Love. I will put Dak Prescott over Jordan Love. I literally would. I think Dak Prescott is a really, 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 really good quarterback. I will probably squeeze Dak Prescott in my top 10. Now, Dak Prescott is terrible in the playoffs. He has done absolutely nothing. Like when I mean terrible in the playoffs, I mean not his team. I have seen him play bad in the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. Like, and there was really no excuse why he was playing bad. He had the team around him. He had the coaching. He was just bad. See what I'm saying? See the difference between him and Justin Herbert, the nuance. So that's like 13 quarterbacks I named. So Jordan Love is a top 15 quarterback. I will be comfortable with saying that. Top 15, top 20. That's Jordan Love for me. And then we got Zay Flowers, 71, 70 games. He played 86 catches. He went over 1,200 yards. And this is his debut, 71. I think it's solid. Ravens top target. It's finally landed in the top 100. First appearance on the All-Star list comes after his best year statistically, one in which his receptions, yards, and receiving scores for each team highs and career best. Earning his second Pro Bowl bid, the slick and quick wideout began his season with a monster 143-yard in Week 1. His production dipped at times with Lamar Jackson when Lamar Jackson became injured. So that was obviously, but he finished the season strong. Over his last 5 games, Flowers, he came in, he had 5 total touchdowns, 26 grabs, 444 yards receiving, and still just 25. Flowers flourished down the stretch for Baltimore bouncing back in 2026. So I never really been all that big on Jay Flowers. I'm not really all that big on him. I don't think he's all that, but I think he's average. I think he's pretty good. And it looks like he's getting better for the Ravens. So that's that. And that's all I got for all of y'all. And I thank you all so much for watching. We'll be back very, very soon. All day, no days off. Deuces.